Hi, we're here at this month's Azure drop. We have all of our stuff loaded and we will update you when we get home with our Azure haul and stock up for the month. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I'm in the garage, so the audio may not be the best, and we have the cat over here plus the chickens hanging out. But I wanted to show you the frozen stuff before I put it away. We typically store it in one of our freezers downstairs just to help with space. This month we are trying the frozen raspberry pieces. Last month we did the strawberry and it actually turned out really good for Alex's kombucha. Being the pieces, it's easier to stick in those flip top bottles, and if you have little ones, you know how expensive it is to buy the berries, especially berries that have not been sprayed or berries that are organic. Here's the cat saying hello. Say hi, Smokey. The other frozen item that we are trying this month is the hash browns. We heard a lot of positive reviews on these, people saying that they're great for breakfast casseroles, or we do a lot of breakfast for dinner, just, you know, good, there's the kiddos in the background, just good quality hash browns that don't have preservatives and additives, things like that, in it, like from a lot of grocery stores. And then the other thing that's gonna stay down here, we wanted to try the Azure canning jars. It's actually really cool. You can get these with or without lids and rings. And so if you're like me, you have a ton of lids and rings, maybe you don't need the extra. It saves you a little bit of money, and I just think this design is so pretty. So this month we're trying the pint. Most of my canning I do in pints right now because, I mean, it's really just Alex and I eating it. Danny eats a little bit, but we haven't graduated to quart jars for most everything quite yet. We did put pint and a half in our order for next month, so I'm excited to see those. And it comes in this nice little box. So that'll be good to store them in until I need to use them.
Hello and welcome back to the Hoosier Homestead. My name is Alex. This is my wonderful wife, Sarah, and we're going to do our Azure pickup haul explanation.
Yeah, so this is our September order that we placed the last week of September. And so then we pick it up a week later. So pickup was today, first week of October. We have one little guy sleeping and we have one playing in the background, so sorry if it gets a little loud. That's just kind of life right now with two little kids. Okay, we have organic red potatoes. It is, I believe, 5 pounds. Yes, 5 pounds. So we normally do like grocery pickup or delivery, especially like newly postpartum. Sorry, we had to take a break to help with some toy cars. Anyways, back to potatoes. We were ordering from just like our local Walmart. The problem was, you know, you don't get to pick when you do grocery delivery or pickup. And I kept getting these like green, unripe potatoes, which are just not pleasant to cook with, just not pleasant to eat. And so I've heard a lot of people say good things about the potatoes from Azure. I know a lot of people actually order like 50-pound bags, but we wanted to try them out first. So this is our first bag of organic potatoes from them. And then we also got 5 pounds of organic carrots, and oh my goodness, these look amazing. So these ones we're just gonna eat or cook with, but next month we actually have 10 pounds in our order, and I'm going to do some canned carrots with those, but it's another one of those things. I really like to see the product. I want to try it out first before I order a larger quantity of it. Okay, Alex is back. Okay, the next one we have is, we hold it, mushroom popcorn. So it has nothing to do with mushrooms whatsoever. It really just refers to the size of the popcorn once it's popped. So it's supposed to have really large popcorn kernels, and we don't do a lot of like processed or store-bought snacks. So we thought this was something good that we could have at home as a snack. We're going to put some nutritional yeast on it and some Redmond salt just to season it. And Alex has our new popper that we're going to try.
We got this on Amazon the other day. So not from Azure, but it's an air popper. It's there's no grease, no oil. It's just convection air, hot air.
And we'll probably put butter on it as well, just like real cream butter, not margarine. So then moving on, we have some orzo. Just a different type of pasta. Azure has such good quality pastas that are organic. I've been buying a lot of einkorn because it's an ancient grain, but it's also easier on our stomach. And I saw some fall recipes that used orzo, and so I thought I'd pick some up from Azure. So we're going to try that out. We got these last month.
These are sea salt chips. They're pretty good. I'm glad that they have these in October still, because they seem to be only in late July. I thought maybe that was the only time they're available, but it's not.
So I don't know about you, but we tried to go to Walmart the other day, and I was just flipping over bags, and it seemed like every single bag had a bunch of seed oils, and just a bunch of stuff that like I didn't want. So these are decently clean. They taste good. We're trying it out with the late July salsa. This is just the mild salsa made with organic ingredients this month. Just another snack that we like to have on hand. So our next two.
These are Castel Vetrano olives.
Okay, so we really have no idea how to say this. But we love olives in our house. Everything from salads to tacos to just eating green olives out of the jar. Once again, we don't have a lot of processed snacks. But a lot of the olives you get at the store have gums in them, which I'm not a huge fan of. And so let's read the ingredients on the black olives.
So the black olives is ripe olives, water, and sea salt.
So none of the yucky stuff that you don't want.
And the green olives is the Castel Vetrano olives, water, sea salt, lactic acid, and citric acid, which is a preservative. An okay preservative, I think.
We have our little helper joining us. He woke up. He heard us talking. All right, here's the next one.
This is Azure brand ketchup. Just thought we'd try it out. Not sure. We'll see how it tastes. We kind of just get the cheap Walmart brand ketchup a lot of times.
I do try to buy the organic Walmart one, but it's one of those things like you don't want to sacrifice taste. But the good thing about Azure is they're so particular about the quality of their ingredients. So really, no matter what you're buying from their site, it's going to be a lot cleaner than a lot of the ingredients that you can get at just your regular store. So if we like it, we may stick with it. I've also kind of floated around the idea of making my own homemade ketchup and canning it. Just kind of have a lot going on right now. So sometimes it's easier to have a store-bought one.
That's okay. I don't know what this is. It's just salt?
It's Redmond real salt, seasoning salt. We've been watching a lot of videos where people make homemade French fries, which we do a ton of potatoes, French fries, things like that. I don't like buying frozen from the store. We just cut them up ourselves. So lots of people online recommended this as just like a seasoning to put on them. What's the flavors?
So the ingredients are sea salt, garlic, onion, coriander, mustard, celery seed, black pepper, paprika, turmeric, and parsley.
Yeah, we're huge fans of Redmond salt. I use it for everything. I use it for canning, fermenting. Just that's our salt that we use instead of regular table salt. And so this is same thing, Redmond brand. It's just seasoned. The next one.
Some basic raw honey.
I love that it comes in a glass jar from Azure. It's like an extra little freebie when you get to keep the glass jar. We always wash them and save them, and I mean, I can find a million uses for a glass jar.
And this is pretty reasonably priced. I think it was like, what, $17?
Yeah, I don't think it's more than that, and it's 3 pounds.
A 3-pound container.
So the next one, this is kind of the downside of ordering online. So I was kind of deceived by the photo. It looks like these are supposed to be apple slices, but when you look at them, they're like little crumbled pieces. So my intention was to buy them as a snack for the kids and for Alex, but I don't really know how that's going to go with how small those are. And they're just like dried or dehydrated apple pieces, but it's okay because nothing goes to waste here. So what I'll probably end up doing, these would make really good like apple cinnamon sourdough scones. They're already cut up in small pieces, and something like that typically bakes better because it's not releasing a lot of the juice or a lot of liquid into my scone. So we'll see how it goes.
I think we could use it for like pancakes or something too.
Yeah.
And it's just sun-dried apples. There's no added sugar or anything.
More dry goods.
More rolled oats. I think we got another bag last month. We go through a lot for our granola.
Yes, I actually just made a batch yesterday. So Azure has a ton of oats that you can choose from: organic, non-organic, rolled oats, quick oats, steel cut oats. I mean, pretty much anything. They even have specific gluten-free ones. And so you can order all the way up to 50-pound bags. I usually make a batch of granola each week to go with our homemade yogurt. And it's one of those things, this is actually just non-GMO. I didn't buy the organic kind this time because I do trust Azure's sourcing when it comes to their ingredients. And so some things I do make sure I get organic. A lot of times, like the Dirty Dozen. However, at the same time, knowing that Azure is sourcing good, clean ingredients, I do feel comfortable not always buying organic. So this is one of those things where maybe you can save a little bit of money by just getting like the non-GMO rolled oats. And then our last one.
We already broke into these.
We did.
Chocolate covered apples, dried apple, or
bananas,
dried bananas that are covered in chocolate.
So these, typically we have like one thing that doesn't make it home without getting opened. That was this. So another thing, just like I said, snack for Alex and the kids and me. And it is sweetened with coconut sugar, which I was pleasantly surprised. We've been trying to switch our sweeteners. Like we do lots of honey, lots of maple syrup. I recently purchased coconut sugar. Organic cane sugar. Just trying to do things that are less refined, more natural, easier on our stomachs to digest and for your body to process. So yeah, these are not as crispy as I thought they'd be.
Yeah, they're pretty chewy.
So we'll see how the toddler feels about them, but I'm sure they'll get 8 either way.
They're bittersweet, so they aren't like super sweet because it is coconut sugar, but I think they're still pretty good.
So just a little bit about why we're doing this. I know I haven't always made it in all the videos. I'm usually busy with the kids, but it really started our health journey over 2 years ago when I had our first little boy. And I had a gallbladder attack when I was 27 weeks pregnant. We were on our baby moon in Michigan, and ended up in the hospital in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Not what I wanted to do on our baby moon. And so then postpartum, 3 months, I had to have my gallbladder removed, and that was supposed to be the cure-all. Everything was going to be fine. And that is not the case. I came out of that surgery probably worse than before. I could not digest gluten, dairy, sugars, any artificial sweeteners. I mean, there was so few things I could eat. I was just miserable. And just through luck, I ended up being in a wonderful moms group locally who kind of steered me in the right direction of recipes and lots of gluten-free things. But that was kind of my journey to heal my gut because I just absolutely refused to be on medicine every day for the rest of my life. It was miserable. And so along the way, we kind of started with sourdough. My sister got us started. And so we have Edgar Allan Dough, our sourdough starter, which then led us into more fermented homemade products. So things like sauerkraut, our homemade yogurt, kombucha. We've done kefir, water kefir, and milk kefir.
Ginger ale. I've made homemade ginger ale, which is fermented with yeast. You add yeast to it, but it's still fermented.
We've done curtido,
which is like a sauerkraut, but it's more, I think, tomatoes and
not tomatoes, onions and carrots. And different spices than just sauerkraut. We've also done like fermented fruit.
Yeah, so I do a lot of fermented fruit with kombucha. I make like syrups. They're called shrubs, and so you basically you make a fruit syrup, and then you ferment it with some starter, some really strong kombucha for a few days, and it turns into a shrub. And then you would mix that with like a club soda or Sprite or something like that if you want some extra sweet. But yeah, just stuff like that. Trying different things.
Lots of pickled things like pickled onions and getting that vinegar with the mother in our diet.
It's just really good for your gut microbiome. Just these fermented foods, and it just generally speaking makes you feel a lot better overall.
Our inflammation is down tremendously. Just looking at photos of ourselves from 2-3 years ago, I mean, you can just tell how much healthier we look. And that kind of led into non-toxic living, getting rid of all the scents in our home, the toxins that are present in a lot of like your soaps and shampoos, conditioners, air fresheners, cleaning products. I mean, you're pretty much just going to find vinegar, water, and maybe some alcohol or hydrogen peroxide at our house. We try to avoid as many endocrine disruptors as we can. And a lot of that stemmed from, I didn't share about it, but our fertility journey before we even got pregnant and before I was having gallbladder issues. So we've just kind of come full circle. And we're not partnered with Azure. It's just a company that we believe in their values. We believe in the quality of their ingredients and their food. We cannot buy a lot of these things locally. We're lucky enough that we can get meat locally from some wonderful farmers in our area. But a lot of this stuff, I had a baby in May, and so our garden wasn't as big as I wished it would have been this year, and so that's okay. We're happy to have a company like Azure that we can once a month get these awesome products from. So were you going to show our vinegar?
You talked about cleaning stuff. So we make our own cleaning sprays for, instead of using Lysol or something like that, or bleach. This is literally just kombucha that I let go too long, and so it's vinegar basically. And I added some water to it too, so it's diluted down. But
it's usually a 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50 vinegar. For glass cleaner, we use
alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, rubbing alcohol with water. For hand soap or dish soap, a lot of times we'll make our own with Castile, not syrup, but Castile liquid soap and water, and we'll add some essential oils for like fragrance.
And we do a lot of our own homemade essential oils. That way they're non-toxic. So easy to make. with just the peels from our lemons and our limes, our oranges, because any citrus, one, I like the scent, but then you also get that added benefit of it being like a degreaser, especially if you're using it for like washing your kitchen dishes. Sorry, we're getting a little restless over here.
Yeah, so I think that's all we had really for this. Is just a quick Azure haul, what we got. I think the total for all of this was a little over $130.
Yeah.
Which is reasonable, I think.
For groceries today.
The groceries that we got, compared to if we went to Walmart or Kroger or somewhere like that, we would spend a lot more, I think. And the quality would have been not as great.
Yeah, and that's something else that I'll just mention that we found from Azure. We do price match. So, like, I very strategically look. I will compare Walmart. I'll look at Aldi. We don't have Kroger here locally, but we have JC, which is very similar to Kroger. And I will literally compare like the organic, the regular, traditional product with Azure, as well as the prices, and see what's cheaper, what's more economical per ounce. And a lot of times, because you can buy such bulk quantities from Azure, you are getting a better product for cheaper, which, I mean, who doesn't love that? So yeah, I think maybe our next video we can update you on our chickens again.
Yeah, so we got some more chickens, so we'll update that. I'm doing these random book reviews here and there, which we both really love to read, and I like to talk about books I'm reading, so that's fun. But I think the reason we wanted to do these type of grocery videos is because we watch other people do this, and we get good ideas of, oh, that looks good, or I had no idea that they would sell something like that.
I'm still trying to get my Rumiano butter. It's always out of stock every time I try to order.
They apparently have really good butter.
Yeah.
So the way this works is, so we placed this order last week, and it was delivered today. Technically, you could place next month's order right now, and lock in those items
and the sale prices
and the prices. But I don't think your card will get charged until they ship.
Correct.
And so technically, we could buy what we want, and we could look for this butter that's always out of stock. And if it's in stock right now, you want to make sure you place the order and lock it in. And you can always add more after the fact. But just like that, and then this popcorn, we've heard a lot of good things about this, and would have never thought to buy popcorn kernels from them.
Well, and especially something called mushroom popcorn. I would have assumed that it was like not that we don't like mushrooms, but I would have assumed that it was, like the mushroom coffee or some type of product made with mushrooms, and it's not. It truly just refers to the size of the kernel when it's popped. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do next. We're going to try our new air popper. We're going to make some popcorn for a snack. Sorry if it got a little loud with toy cars in the background, but I'm hoping to make it into some more videos. I want to talk about, our health journey, healthy cooking from scratch. I do a lot of homemade tinctures and home remedies for our boys. Just trying to live a healthy, simple lifestyle, and do it affordably. Not so much focused on preparedness, but of course that's always wonderful to know that, we have freezers of meat. We have home canned food in our root cellar in the basement. We know how to garden. So yeah, hopefully I can pop in here and there, and add to the channel. So yeah.
Sounds good. If you like what you're seeing, I've got the toddler right here. Just make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be putting more of this stuff out like Sarah said. So
leave us a comment.
Thanks for watching.